To order at 9:33. Roll call, please.
Fleming.
Here.
Gershenson is absent with notice. Hoffman.
Here.
Kowal. Here. Kokendorfer.
Here.
Quarles.
Here.
Long.
Here. All right, we'll stand for pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so now we need a motion to approve the previous minutes from July 9th, 2018, moved by Commissioner Fleming, supported by Commissioner Quarles. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None. We need a motion to approve the agenda, and Commissioner Zach has to be somewhere, so we're going to move number 4 up to number 1, if that's okay with everyone?
Yeah, sure. No
All right,
problem.
so we'll move, we need a motion to approve the agenda as amended, moved by Commissioner Hoffman, supported by Commissioner Quarles, or all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and not, all right, public comment, any public comment? Seeing none, we'll close that, and then we'll go on to Board of Commissioners designation of September 2018 as Suicide Prevention Awareness Month in Oakland County. We need a motion for that, moved by Commissioner Hoffman, supported by Commissioner Fleming. Good morning.
Good morning. So I think the purpose of this resolution is just to highlight the issue. And frankly, there's 31% increase in our state of Michigan since 1999 on the issue of suicide. It's really tremendous. Variety of factors, certainly opioid drugs contributes to it. But I have to say on a positive note, and the purpose is really that awareness and learning about signs and symptoms, what to do. Our Oakland County Health Department is doing a fabulous job, and they started a collaborative initiative years ago for an awareness. What do you do? There's some really beautiful promotional materials. Many school systems have adapted. I don't know if you remember, maybe 5-6 years ago, there were way too many suicides, I think, in Lake Orion schools. So it's a universal, it's not one community. I know that Commissioner Dwyer and I were working on an initiative. This is in 1998 and 99 through the Commission on Children, Youth, and Families in Farmington Hills. You know, he was leading it as police chief. And the reason that that came about, it was on adolescent depression, is that there were 17 attempted suicides that had come through Farmington Hills Police Department over several years. And that was in an earlier attempt to address that. So it's not a new issue, but it's a growing one. So whatever we can do to be talking about it, leading people to our OakGov website is all positive for this initiative.
Okay, good. Thank you. Any questions? No? All right, seeing none, we'll do roll call on the resolution as presented.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Kowal.
Yes.
Kokendorfer.
Yes.
Quarles.
Yes.
Fleming.
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll move to item 1, Board of Commissioners support for Michigan legislator to provide funding to increase school safety measures to harden the security at all Michigan schools. And we need a motion, Commissioner Kowal and Commissioner Kokendorfer. All right.
Just speak from here?
Yeah, you could.
Okay, all right. Well, as we know, there's a lot we need to do to protect our students in the schools in way of hardening the buildings to prevent unwanted people from getting in there, and also to make it safer overall so that even the individual classrooms can be safeguarded, and that students can be allowed to escape if they have the chance to do so. But for as many school districts and schools as we have in our state, the state legislature has appropriated some money thus far, but they need to appropriate a whole lot more over the upcoming years to help harden these buildings, to keep unwanted people out. And that's what this resolution is all about, just to urge the state legislature to appropriate funding to harden these buildings.
Okay, good. Any questions? I think Walled Lake is very secure. I mean, I think there's always more room for improvement, but I'm like, I get the buzz and they look at you and what do you need and stuff. So that's good. That's a good thing. It's during the day when school is in, so. All right, any comments or questions? Seeing none, we'll do, vote on the resolution as presented then.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Quarles,
Stiffer than it used to
Yes.
be.
Fleming,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Long.
Yes,
Motion
and then
carries.
I think, do we need a motion for direct referral to public services? We need a motion. It's gonna go to public services this week too.
Okay.
All right, so we need a motion for, all of them are, going to public
Are they?
services.
Okay, for
Yes.
Bill.
Yes. All right.
I'll move that.
I'll move and support it by, moved by, Commissioner Fleming, supported by Commissioner Kowal. And then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed. Okay. All right, so now we're on 2, and that's Commissioner Corral's Board of Commissioners' support of Michigan legislative reform, raising the penalty for concealing an unregistered firearm. Commissioner Quarles will move it, and who would like to support it? Commissioner Fleming. Okay, Commissioner Quarles.
If you don't mind, if I could stay here. Actually, this is a bill for Commissioner Gary McGreevery, excuse me. McGreevery, boy. Boy.
Oh, well, that's not you, okay.
Okay, no, no, no.
You're presenting, okay.
I'm presenting on
Okay.
his
Yeah,
behalf.
that's right. That was his.
The intent of this is to increase public safety, and particularly with the citizens of Oakland County, to encourage the legislature to look at any firearms as it reads right now that's not registered in a crime or something is permitted, that it should have a longer sentences. What I would like to propose is an amendment to this, as opposed to using the wording firearm. I'd like to be more specific and just refer to pistols. Any concealed
Handguns.
and guns, and make sure that again, for the safety, and that is very specific to what we need to increase our laws on.
So was that one handgun or, Mike? What was it?
So here,
I think,
This one
yeah,
is-
have Mike talk, there are some issues
they-
about the firearm.
Yeah, in this
'cause that's
particular
the ones
one,
that
I
aren't
think the way that they
registered,
want
you
to
know,
word
like
it
a
is,
hunting gun or-
the title would need to be changed.
Right.
And what you're basically requesting is that support of Michigan legislative reform, raising the penalty for concealing a pistol or handgun without a license.
'Cause that one,
Okay.
that's the ones that
Yes.
need the license, so there's some
Okay,
question
When
with
you get
people.
into the CPL law.
Right.
Yeah,
they
so-
get into what actually you need a license in order to conceal a pistol or handgun.
Right.
So there's some issues from other commissioners with that wording on the
Yes.
title and in the resolution. So you want to move that?
Yes.
And you guys clear what the amendment is? I think
Yep.
it cleans it up.
Just-
Would anyone support the amendment?
I just want to
Okay.
be clear for discussion. So you would change everywhere in this resolution where it says firearms, you would change it to read handguns, pistols, or something? Because in the
Yes,
resolution, it says
yes,
per
we
capita
should.
firearms, firearm is stated in here several times.
Yes, we
In
should.
the resolution itself, not just the title.
Yeah.
Yes,
you look
we
through that,
should.
so that's what you're
Within
amending?
the resolution, the firearm, as it's worded, still relates back to the statute where it gets in the penalty phase of concealing without a license.
Okay,
So,
it's okay.
yeah, and since there's no word of unregistered or that registered word, within the resolution itself, I believe that we're okay. It's just the title that has that particular word where we,
Because as you read the resolution, it moves into describing it as pistol.
Okay, it does, I see that.
Yeah.
Thank you for clarifying that. I'd support it.
Okay. Any discussion on the amendment?
The amendment is only to the title.
Title and, is that it? Is
Yes,
that all?
it's
Is that
all-
unregistered? Okay.
Correct.
Okay, so the title, all right, so we'll do roll call on the amendment.
We need
Yeah.
a motion and a support.
Oh, Quarles and Fleming, sorry. He shook his head. Sorry, I should say it out loud. You didn't see him shake his head. All right, so we'll do roll call on the amendment. right now.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Long.
Yes. All right, now we're back on the resolution as amended. Any questions, Commissioner Hoffman?
I just have a comment, and do you think a guy who's gonna carry an unregistered gun thinks about, geez, I would have carried
I
one
know.
last year because I only got 5 years in jail, but this
I
year
get
it's
I know.
6. I mean, it's just arbitrary numbers. I mean, does it really have any impact? And they have to be punished, don't misunderstand me, and I support your resolution, but sometimes you just wonder, I mean, we all are, everybody wants to be tough on crime, but I don't know if we've accomplished anything.
No,
My thought.
yeah,
agree.
I agree with you, but we do
Oh.
need to.
Chris has a comment. I'd let Commissioner Quarles finish.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
No, no,
to
that-
interrupt there.
No, go ahead.
When we sat down with the sheriff's office, and a lot of these things generated from the sheriff's office, it's sort of where they begin the sentencing
Yes.
guidelines. You know, when the judge starts off, they start off at a certain parameter, and sometimes they go down from there. And so that's where their suggestion came from, was sometimes the judge starts at a certain level and then goes down from there. They suggested maybe they start at a higher level.
Oh,
Because what's interesting too is you use a gun in the commission of a crime, you get 2 years. But if you just get caught carrying one that's not registered, you get 6 years, but you didn't commit a crime other than carrying an unregistered gun.
but the other one
Just
needs
saying.
change. Yeah, the other one needs changed too, probably. No, I said.
I'm not sure they were looking at the
Right.
deterrent factor as much as
That's weird, though.
how long to put them away for.
The sentencing.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
That's good points,
point.
Commissioner Hoffman. Good points. All right, any other discussion on the resolution? All right, so we'll do roll call on the resolution as amended.
Fleming,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And then we now need a direct referral to Public Services. Just a motion for that. Moved by Commissioner Quarles, supported by Commissioner Hoffman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right, number 3, Board of Commissioners support for legislation to prioritize and allocate funds for school resource officers in Michigan schools. Commissioner Bowman, who would like to move this for the resource officers? Moved by Commissioner Fleming, supported by Commissioner Hoffman. Good morning.
Good morning, all, and it is actually a true pleasure to be on this side of the dais speaking to you today. But I'm here today presenting an opportunity for the Board of Commissioners, specifically GG, to support an initiative to bring forth resources to our schools specifically. I dually serve on the Sheriff's Relations team and have recently had many discussions related to gun violence within our communities as well as our schools. And we see this as an opportunity specifically to take the burden off the backs of the school districts in particular and municipalities to allocate additional resources towards resource officers for those schools, ultimately to improve the interaction and relationships with the student body and to implement personnel in terms of the most appropriate areas to improve safety and wellness for our students and the education system overall. So I'm, again, looking for support in encouraging our legislature to allocate resources in this regard, and hopeful to have your support as well.
This is just kind of a call to the Michigan legislature.
Any questions? I was just thinking of one, if a school already has it, as Walled Lake does, would they ever get funding, or are they gonna be stuck paying for it because they did it ahead of time? You know, we gotta think about, this is a message we're sending, that if the schools already had it and took their due diligence and haven't paid for it, and I get it, some people can't afford it because they pulled them all from Walled Lake, but they brought them back. And, yeah, they brought them back. Remember, we had about 3 years without them and stuff, and they really do need, they at least need one there, and all the schools, I think, now, unfortunately. But I'm wondering, I guess, is this a general, this is just a general resolution, correct? So I think that the details would have to be ironed out. I wouldn't want a school to be penalized for using their funds already for resource officers, as a lot of our districts, I think a lot of the districts have them.
Right.
If this comes into fruition, you know.
I would say specifically to penalize schools if they make a determination not to allocate resources to school enforcement officers, but for communities that are fiscally strapped, and I'll make note of Pontiac specifically, where cuts may be made or priorities are taken into consideration, there is an additional pool of funds to utilize to make certain that that resource is available and utilized again for the safety and appropriate support of our school districts overall.
Commissioner Kolkenderfer?
I agree. I mean, my thought is that this resolution is broad enough that
Yeah.
it covers the situations. We're not endorsing a specific legislative bill that's
Right.
pending right now, so I think it's fine.
And just out of curiosity, Pontiac does not have a school liaison?
Pontiac does currently
Oh,
have
good.
a school liaison. It is the former police chief, Mr. Thompson, and they're actually embarking on a process to hire in a new individual to make certain that that resource is still there, viable and available. But again, this is an opportunity to leverage funds from alternative means to make certain that that role stays in play, and that you don't have the issue of cutting
Which you
vital
did. I wonder,
resources.
did Pontiac cut when all the other school districts, did they always have theirs, or did they cut?
To my understanding, they've always had
That's good.
that individual in place,
That's good.
and looking to do so going forward. And they're actually reaching out and interviewing individuals to make that transition to that new officer. And so it is itemized within the budget, but again, within various communities that are strapped for resources, that those funds could tangibly go towards programming and the like that again would continue to improve the district.
Okay, and Commissioner Hoffman, did you have a?
Are these
comment?
officers, which I think is a good use of, these officers to work with the students and everything, but are these officers armed also?
To
Yeah.
my understanding, they
I think
would
one
have
would
the
be.
ability to carry.
Oh.
I don't know that
Does it?
each individual does actually
Okay.
have firearms, but they are sanctioned to do so.
I'm pretty sure,
Right.
I think
Makes sense.
they typically are.
I think,
I would
I think,
think.
because we use the Oakland County Sheriffs, and I think I see everything on her, like the gun, everything right here.
Thank you.
So I think they do. Okay. All right, any other questions? All right, seeing none, we'll do roll call on the resolution as presented.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I forgot that one.
Do
Where is
that
that one? 5. Okay, yeah, we need a direct, oh, no, we're on 3 only.
3.
Direct referral to public services we need. So moved by Commissioner Fleming, supported by Commissioner Quarles. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I can't forget all those referrals. All right, now we're on 5. Board of Commissioners support of Michigan legislative reform, raising the penalty for incidents involving a stolen or unregistered firearm. It's going to be moved by Commissioner Quarles, supported by who? We got some amendments. Commissioner Kowal. Okay. Commissioner Quarles.
Okay, thank you again. This is another part of that series. With this one, we want to increase the penalty of firearms that are involved in that are stolen and involved in an incident. Along with this, I do have an amendment to make it clearer, taking the word from firearms to handguns, to be very specific, and make sure there isn't any violation of any other language within the Michigan Code.
Are you changing the involving a stolen, you just want a handgun there,
Or unregistered.
or unregistered handgun? Okay.
Unregistered handgun.
Oh, okay, so we're just
Omit firearm,
changing.
Omit firearm and insert handgun.
Okay, handgun
Handgun.
goes with firearm.
And
Okay.
and also throughout the resolution.
Okay.
Okay.
This would be
Okay.
This will be throughout.
Right.
Throughout, okay.
Makes sense.
So you're making that motion, and then who would like to support that? I think I'd like that wording better. Commissioner Cole, will you support her amendment? Will you support her amendment? She's changing firearm to handgun again.
Okay.
Since you did the.
Throughout the resolution, yes, and she did, so she'll support the amendment. Any discussion on the amendment? Now we'll go back to the resolution as amended. Any? Oh, yeah, sorry.
Roll call
Gosh, we
amendment.
just have so many referrals and stuff.
You're doing a good job.
All right, all right. Okay, we'll do roll call on the amendment.
Kowal,
Yes.
A little more.
Kokendorfer.
steps today.
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Long.
Yes. All right, now we're on the resolution as amended. Any discussion? All right, now we'll roll call on the resolution as amended.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Long.
Yes. Now we're on the direct referral for public services, if anyone can make that. Commissioner Kokendorfer, moved by Commissioner Kowal. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, now we're on 6. I'm just gonna remember all these steps today. Board of Commissioners support of Senate Bill 983, School Emergency Operations Plan. We'll have that moved by Commissioner Kokendorfer, supported by Commissioner Kowal. Okay.
So to continue our theme here, there
Yes.
is a pending bill in the Senate, actually it passed the Senate, Bill 983, that will require each school district to create a school emergency plan that would address not just issues of an active shooter, for example, but bomb threats, severe weather threats. And importantly, they would have to work with local law enforcement. So they're not just kind of like you and me coming up with an emergency plan. Professionals,
knows
police
about them.
officers are involved. They would submit that to the state. I think it makes a lot of sense. As I said, it passed the Senate. I think it's got a good chance of passing the House as well.
Okay. That would be important for others. People to know what the plan is. All right, any discussion on it? All right, seeing none, we'll do roll call on the resolution as presented.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Long.
Yes, and then we need a motion to direct referral to public services, moved by Commissioner Kokendorfer, supported by Commissioner Kowal. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. None. All right, now we're on a different subject for one. Board of Commissioners designating September 11th through the 17th, 2018 as Michigan Patriot Week in Oakland County. And that, we don't, who would like to move that? Moved by Commissioner Fleming, supported by Commissioner Kowal. And we don't, Tom's not here, but we do this every year.
Yeah,
You
it's
doing
an
it?
annual resolution
Yeah.
that designates September, in this particular year,
Yes.
September 11th through 17th, 2018 as Patriot Week. Again, it's Judge Warren and his daughter Mia
Yes.
initially
Right.
recognized it back in 2009. So we're going into our 9th year of recognizing
Good thing.
and designating this. And it's basically an appreciation of the first principles, founding fathers, and other patriots through their speeches and documents and everything like that, that we will recognize that.
Okay. I don't think there's questions. You did very well. All right. Roll call on the resolution as presented.
Fleming,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. And number 8, Board of Commissioners support for the implementation of early warning security measures to curb the threat of gun violence for our students. Who is that going to be? Moved by Commissioner Quarles. We'll move it. Supported by Commissioner Hoffman, and you're going to be Tom again?
I'll be Tom again. So, for Commissioner Berman, this particular resolution calls for the Michigan Legislature again to prioritize the protection of our students through funding for basic building improvements, in addition to the hardening of the schools. One particular aspect that this particular resolution calls upon is the alternative tone system. That if a active shooter were to come onto school property, then someone could alert the rest of the students through an alternative tone instead of a firearm or a tornado drill or something along those lines. So again, it's just a call upon the Michigan Legislature to pass legislation for that particular security measure.
Okay, is there questions? I'm just thinking when we're going through all this is just a darn shame.
We have to
You
do
know,
this.
that you have to have students
What
afraid of
world are we living
students.
in?
You know, I always
Just
tell my
like that.
kids, it's just
Yeah,
a
it
different
does.
world, you know? It is a different world to go to school and have to think someone might come with a gun, you know? Okay, sorry, that was my comment. I'm just thinking we're going one after another. It's very,
We're all
it's
thinking the same
scary, you
thing.
know? It's
Yeah.
scary. So, any comments on that resolution? All right, questions? Okay, seeing none, we'll do roll call on the resolution as presented.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Long.
Yes, and then we need a referral for public services, moved by Commissioner Coyle, supported by Commissioner Hoffman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Next one, number 9, Board of Commissioners support of safe school environments for Oakland County students, moved by Commissioner Fleming, supported by Commissioner Hoffman. Okay, Commissioner Fleming.
Yes, we're just continuing the theme, Commissioner Long here. And a lot of this overlaps, but it's so important, I think it deserves overlapping, so we need leave no stone unturned here in making sure that the state knows that we're wanting to keep our Oakland County students safe, not just from gun violence, but from bullying and all sorts of harassment and discrimination in our schools. So this resolution is just encouraging our state lawmakers to support us in that and provide funding. And we'll continue to work as Board of Commissioners and with our county, with our local schools and Oakland County schools to do whatever we can to provide safe school environment for all of our students. And so continuing that theme. So I'm happy to move this resolution.
Okay, any questions? Seeing none, we'll do roll call on the resolution as presented.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Long.
Yes, and then we'll have Commissioner Fleming move it for direct
Yes.
referral to public
Yes.
services and supported by Commissioner Kowal. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And next one, Board of Commissioners, support of Michigan legislative reform enhancing the penalties for lost, misplaced, and stolen firearms.
It's you.
It's you. She won't firearms here because it's including everything. This one's including everything. Oh, we need a motion, I guess, right? Did I get a motion? No. Moved by Commissioner Fleming, supported by Commissioner Kowal. Good morning, Commissioner Taub.
Good morning. I missed you so much I came this morning.
Right?
Maybe next year they'll permit me to be back on this committee. I don't know. I have my fingers, both hands crossed. This is very, very simple. We want people to report their lost, stolen, missing firearms. Comes directly from the sheriff, and they'd like to enhance the penalties for failure to report this. There's no penalty, and I agree with Commissioner Bob Hoffman, that, you know, you get 2 years for carrying a firearm if you commit an act with it, but you get 6 years if you fail to, if you carry it and it's not registered. So there's got to be somebody's got to fix all this up, and I do think that if this ever gets to Lansing, there will be people who will take the whole law into consideration.
Yes.
And amend everything all the way down the line, so.
Okay, any questions? All right, seeing none, we'll do roll call on the resolution.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Hoffman,
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Long.
Yes, and then we need the motion for the direct referral to public services, moved by Commissioner Kowal, supported by Commissioner Hoffman. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, opposed? None. Okay, we just made his agenda longer. Commissioner Dwyer, his agenda is just tripled, probably.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Okay, and then number 11, a Board of Commissioners designation of National Adult Education and Family Literacy Week, September 24th through the 29th, 2018. Need a motion for that, moved by Commissioner Kowal, supported by Commissioner Hoffman, and Commissioner Taub is the presenter.
Thank you. I think all of you know how passionate I am about literacy and have been forever and ever and ever. And one of the things this board has not done on some of the outreach is some type of outreach toward literacy. But the problem always has been one of funding, and I think we know that. We all know that if you teach a mother or a father to read, their children will read, period.
Mhm.
We all know that reading to a child practically from birth will ensure that that child will love books and learn to read. I mean, this is just plain common knowledge. But there hasn't been a lot of funding for this, and our board has not had the funding. But we were talking earlier in the day about how one of the groups in our county under our budget is spending over $100,000 on law books. And according to a number of attorneys with whom I've spoken, law books are not necessary. People are using computers. Just think how many children we could tutor or teach to read with over $100,000. So, put this behind your head when we get when budget time comes and so on. This might be a way to solve two problems. One, get our kids up to speed in reading the way they should be, and two, eliminate spending money on stuff that taxpayers don't really want to spend money on. I think most attorneys, if I'm not mistaken, everything's online now. So I'm going to move this literacy thing and put a bug in your ear as well.
All right, any questions? Commissioner Quarles?
Yeah, I think this is a great idea, your resolution. Just want to make sure I'm clear. Are you saying literacy, you want to take the use of literacy money that we may be giving to the library to use for adult training or literacy for the students?
Either or, that's up to this board to make a
She's saying
decision.
if we save
Okay.
100,000.
This is supporting adult literacy.
Yeah.
But
No,
I'm just
I-
supporting literacy as a whole. Many years ago, Commissioner Quarles, the library board used to contribute a considerable fund to the adult literacy program, Oakland Literacy Council, to train adults to read or to speak English or both.
Okay.
Um,
I'm agreeing with you. I think at this juncture in our society, we're not putting enough emphasis on adult
Right.
literacy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I am wholeheartedly
Yeah.
supportive of doing something towards adult literacy
And
because
that-
the
yeah.
gain is much larger.
Yeah, and this
And
is
it's
up to
a
this
lot more
board to
people than you
decide.
think.
Yeah.
Perhaps some monies can be used for both. I don't know,
Mm.
but we are supporting, this is in support, obviously, of Adult Literacy Week,
Okay.
and how important it is. Again, if you teach an
Sure.
adult to read, their kids are gonna read. Their kids are gonna be literate.
And you know,
so-
there's no, you think that there's not a lot of adults that can read, that can't read.
There are.
But they come in the cider mill and I trained the staff to say, just read it for them. Because they'll say, like, what kind of apples is this on the bag? And the writing is like this big. And they say, well, it's on the bag. I said, they might not be able to read.
Right.
Read it for them. There's a lot of people, I think, a lot of adults that can't read. We just take it for granted everyone can read.
More than we know.
Yes.
I
Yes.
agree, so.
Thank
Okay,
you.
any discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll do roll call.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fleming,
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Kowal.
Yes.
Kokendorfer. Long.
Yes.
Motion
All
carries.
right, thank you,
Thank you.
Commissioner Tubb. Next item is Chris Ward, designation of the bicentennial year and establishment of the Oakland County Bicentennial Executive Committee and Advisory Board. Who would like to move that? Commissioner Hoffman and supported by Commissioner Fleming. All right, good morning, Chris.
Morning, Madam Chair. Just take a quick moment to privilege and thank both Michael and Connie for their work on a
Wow.
series of
All right.
gun safety and school safety resolutions. There was a tremendous amount of work that went into those resolutions and working with the sheriff's office and months and months of work. And so, anyway,
Thank you.
before moving on to that bicentennial resolution, this is a product of, I think, the last couple of meetings that we've had. Commissioner Quarles actually had a motion on the floor and withdrew that, give me an opportunity to roll up my sleeves and get to work on this. And I've had some direction from both this committee and from Chairman Gingell, a little bit of research, and also the study group who presented to you at your last meeting. And so all of that has come together and mashed up into this resolution. I had sent this resolution to you, I think, a couple of weeks ago as well, so I think you've had an opportunity to review this and chew on it a little bit. So what this resolution does is a couple of things. First of all, it establishes formally the bicentennial year, which would be 2020. That would be 200 years from when the territorial governor, Lewis Cass, established Oakland County's boundaries. Secondarily, it creates the Bicentennial Executive Committee, and this works off of the structure of our Human Trafficking Task Force. This is sort of a two-tier leadership structure. The executive committee would be set up initially as the county executive, the chairman of the board, and the minority caucus chair, or their designee, recognizing most likely all or some of them wouldn't possibly be personally involved, but maybe they could send a representative. And then they can add additional members by their unanimous consent. The idea here would be that it's bipartisan, but this committee would be essentially the administrative committee that could act day to day to keep this organization moving forward and do the administrative portion, manage the bicentennial day-to-day events, keep things moving forward. Secondarily, then we would have an advisory board that would be essentially building off of the whole study group that we had. It would be the talent, professional backgrounds that are out in our community, going out there and getting folks like the media representatives, the teachers, professors, folks out in the historical societies, etc. They have an excellent one out in Macomb County that they've plugged into. So we start off with this resolution by taking the advice that was in Commissioner Quarles' motion by appointing everybody from the study group to this advisory board in your resolution. So this would allow this advisory board to specialize in subcommittees and start working on projects. And so also fourth, it appropriates an initial $10,000 to sort of act as seed money. And then the idea there would be to get them started, and then they could come back to the Board of Commissioners with a formal budget, line items, etc. That would probably be a much larger budget to fund the overall project. I was a little hesitant to give them a larger budget than that until they could present you something, more formal. So this is what I have to present to you today. We haven't gotten a lot of feedback yet from the administration, but Chairman Gingell asked me to send it over to Jerry and let him know that we're going to get things started in committee, and then maybe as things move along, we might get a little more feedback. So that's what I have for you. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
I have Commissioner Fleming, then Coke and Durford after that.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. I certainly appreciate all the work that's been put into this so far. And I think it's important to note you've got $10,000 in seed money. When we did the 150th, I know there was $50,000 allocated. So I'm sensitive to the fact you may be coming back with another budget. But I know you're looking at Macomb County as one of the models to observe. And we know that they've used private sector money for theirs. And I think we can glean from that and do some of the same things. But I appreciate we might have to put some more money there, but I would actually encourage the committee to look very closely at what Macomb County's done to see if we can mimic that. And if they can do it in Macomb County, I know we've got businesses here in Oakland County that would jump on the bandwagon, because this is huge. It's a big PR thing for the county, and we don't want to cut it short in any way. But so we want to do a first-class job. I'm really pleased with the committee. I think we've got a great committee there. We just need to stay on top of it and support them as a commission and encourage them along the way. If we have to give them some more money when they come back with a budget, but really ask them to focus on getting private sector involvement in financing this. Thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Coke and Durford.
I think Commissioner Fleming makes great points. I support the resolution, and I would just say, even if and when this committee passes this on the board, to continue pushing the administration for feedback, because I just want to make sure that we're coordinating with them and that we're not duplicating any efforts that may be happening anywhere else within the county government that we're just not aware of right now. That's all.
Absolutely.
Good point.
I think there's many fires going on at the county, and this perhaps being 2020 is not the biggest burning fire at the moment. But moving this along maybe will help move this up on the agenda.
Okay, Commissioner Quarles?
Yeah, thank you. Back to the study group, I apologize, I don't remember, did they give us a report of their findings?
They did. They did. It presented at your last meeting.
I wasn't here.
It was emailed too, but someone can email, there's a email copy.
Yeah,
Good copy.
if you could do that.
Yep, we will.
Good.
Okay,
Great.
Commissioner Tom, she wanted to say, I'll give her a courtesy, but quick.
Okay, I'll be quick.
Then she's gonna want back on.
There happens to be a book about 150th. Have you seen that one?
Oakland Book of History, yep.
Yes.
We use
Okay.
that
Oh, okay.
Just checking.
as
She's
a
the
bit of a
book lady
model
today.
to start off with, and that was one of the items in the
Oh, it's good.
recommendations, was that perhaps we would
What to use?
duplicate that again for the 200th anniversary.
Oh.
Perhaps one of the subcommittee projects for this advisory board would be a breakout for the historical education group to recreate that. They actually did a film strip, or I don't know how you would call it,
People from around the community.
a video as well. They funded that as well. Documentary, yeah.
Okay. All right, so do we need to recommend this to the board? Do we? do we
Yeah, it
need-
would go to the board and then back
Okay,
to
yeah,
the finance
recommend.
committee.
All right, we had the motions, right? So, any questions? All right, so we'll do a roll call on the resolution as presented.
Fleming,
Yes.
Hoffman.
Yes.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Long.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you, Chris. Working on that. Okay, next one is library board appointment, and it's currently held by Commissioner Taub, and she was seeking reappointment. Her term expires on August 24th, and you're the Board of Commissioners liaison appointment. All right, and it's committee's pleasure if we want to open up. She sounds like she's got a lot of background with
Yeah.
that library, and there's a lot of stuff going on, so.
I move
You want to move Commissioner Taub, Commissioner Hoffman, and then.
I'll support without any reservation.
Okay, and then supported by Commissioner Fleming. Any discussion? She's gonna get us that money. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. All right. So, then we'll, roll call on, Commissioner reappointment.
Hoffman,
And then we'll
Yes.
go to the board.
Kowal,
Yes.
Kokendorfer,
Yes.
Quarles,
Yes.
Fleming.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion
All right,
carries.
congratulations. You have a lot of the background information, which I think is needed because with all the stuff, the things going on, even the changing of the Stephen file those. Moved by Commissioner Fleming, supported by Commissioner Hoffman, just because he moved his arm. Do you have a question on communications?
Yeah, I did
Okay.
have one.
Okay.
When I was reading the communications about Oxford, they're opting out. Were they in the smart designation of moving of transportation?
They were?
That's what I'm
They were?
asking.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see.
I mean, it's not a big thing. I was just curious.
Yeah.
If they're opting out, were they
Whether
in?
to exempt or opt out. But that would be weird because they don't have to do one, do they have to, they don't have to do one, Chris, if they're already opted out, do they?
I thought that was related to RTA.
It is.
Oh.
Okay.
It's not.
Oh, okay, so it's not smart. So that's not even gonna be on the ballot. So they were just saying they didn't want to be included in the RTA
Yeah, it's
one.
not smart.
Okay, yeah, that's true. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right, so that was all that other, so that just got to us later then.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
then, we have a motion to receive and file. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? None? All right, any other business?
Can I just give you a brief update
Yes.
on the library?
Oh, yes. So we need Commissioner Taub here. Where is she? No, I'm just kidding.
I just wanted to give you a brief update. Things are going pretty well, actually, with the law library. We've met with the library board, Chairman Gingell and myself, and facilities. It looks like things are going to, I think, work out pretty well in terms of their ability to continue to operate with their core function of being able to serve legal aid, pro per, pro se litigants within their functional space, even with the courtroom being able to be built in that space that's left over there. So if you're familiar with the space, if you walk in the door and you turn right, everything that is from the right on back over is going to become a courtroom. So it's kind of almost like a bowling alley, what will be left there. So what will be needed is to come back to the Board of Commissioners and ask for some funding for renovating the existing space that's left over there. What we've asked them to take a look at is then repurposing and refunctioning their operations there into those core functions though, and reducing the collection and reducing their operations to
wanna buy more,
refocus
it
on
sounds
those
like.
core operations. And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of the feedback I've gotten from the Board of Commissioners, and continually looking for your feedback in terms of what you want to see from the law library. I think this is an opportunity to have that conversation. What do we want to see from the library's future? So far, the feedback I've gotten has been refocus on that core purpose, that pro se litigants, the legal aid function, basically serving those folks that can't help themselves.
Right.
So there are other purposes that they serve there right now. They provide services to other county departments. They provide services for essentially, I think, criminal defense attorneys. And they have a genealogy collection and some other historical services up there as well. So that's a conversation I think they need to have with the Board of Commissioners in terms of whether they want to continue to have those services, or whether you want to continue to have them provide those services, because they're a division of our budget. And every square foot of their budget, is under our budget. It's interesting if you drill into their budget. Their square foot budget is what, $360,000, and ours is $145,000. So
Right.
they have premium space up there, so ours is not really premium space. It's a consequential issue actually, how much square footage they have up there financially.
Sure.
Wow.
So it's an ongoing discussion, and I think it's one that we need to engage in.
Yes.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you for the update. Any other business? All right, seeing none, we are adjourned.